Hello, wrestling fans. It's time for Dynamite D's WrestleTalk. WrestleTalk, a show that talks about all the latest happenings in the world of professional wrestling. Stay tuned to CRN, the cable radio network, for your chance to not only hear about wrestling, but call in and voice your opinion, too. Dynamite D's WrestleTalk will keep you updated on the WWF and give you a chance to call in with questions and comments. And now, here's the host of the WrestleTalk show, Dynamite D.
Well, hello everybody, this is Dynamite D. Welcome to another edition of the WrestleTalk show right here on CRN, the cable radio network, the radio channel. Hope you all enjoyed some great comedy there. Don Taylor picks the best cuts for you, I believe. Really some good stuff there, and I'm sure that he's doing his job well enough, and all you out there appreciate the comedy hour here on the cable radio network. You can check it out next Sunday again. Also, other great shows, as you heard him say, a Sinatra show, so if you're into Sinatra, you can check that out Saturdays at 6. Other shows, Robert Lane and Jazz Notes is in here also on Saturdays. Other things going on during the week, Cable Talk and Howard Sheldon's Astrology Show. We got a new show coming up real soon, Mondays 7 to 9 with a psychic, and you might want to check out that. I think she might know that you're going to call if you give her a call, so we'll check that out soon too. WrestleTalk, though, is the show you're listening to right now here on the Cable Radio Network, and I heard through some people that we've been pulled off another cable system, CENTCOM cable, so get those letters writing to your cable system so that we're not pulled off your system. We don't know what the whole deal is. We hope it's temporarily for some kind of a change, but you want your cable radio network, and we want you to have it. So let your cable system know that you like CRN, you like the job they're doing by giving you CRN. Of course, you all know that the date today was the 5th of January. That meant, since it is the first Sunday of January, that meant the SWF, Slammers Wrestling Federation card. Of course, I was on the card, as I was talking to you before. We'll just give it a little quick rundown on the card. Opening bout, the Colorado Rockies' own Avalanche was facing against a Long John Silver from Treasure Island, and believe it or not, Long John Silver got away with a disqualification victory in that, and don't want to tell too much, but Avalanche, who scooped up the referee after his eyes had been raked and slammed the referee Dan Farron, not liking that too much, disqualified the Avalanche. Another match. This was a very interesting match, to say the least. The Four Corners match. Four Corners match. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but Four Corners match involves 6 wrestlers. Each wrestler, 2 wrestlers start off, and each of the other wrestlers get in one of each of the 4 corners. That means at any time, any wrestler can tag out to any other one. So if I was in there, which I was, and I want to tag out to the Walking Weapon, a good buddy, and hopefully, tag team partner if you say it, but we haven't wrestled any tag team, strictly tag team, but he was in there. I could have tagged out to him, or I could have tagged out to somebody like Jeff Lindbergh or something, a fine wrestler, but as you heard Superstar Mason Storm talking about last night, he does use that closed fist a lot. I kind of like that, but if he wants to tell the crowd how great he is and how much he likes them, then maybe he should start playing by the rules before some of the crowd starts getting offended by his underhanded tactics that I call Dynamite D's rules, anyway. It's other wrestlers in the card. Let me just give a rundown. Richie Dagger, Mason Storm, Jolton Jason, Jeff Lindbergh, Walking Weapon, and yours truly, Dynamite D, were in there. Unfortunately, I didn't want to embarrass anybody, so I didn't win that one, but actually, I came close to winning it. Walking Weapon won that one. He was in there. He eliminated... I guess Jolton Jason was the last guy he eliminated in there. But good match there. Championship match between Malicious Mike. I don't know, he's not as malicious as he used to be. But he was against the number 1 contender at the time, the Avalanche, who had wrestled earlier. And some interesting things going on before that. As you heard mentioned earlier, Long John Silver got a victory over Avalanche. He wanted the shot instead of the Avalanche, and I felt that was fair. well, we'll get more into that later. But anyway, Malicious Mike was a winner by pinfall, high cross body off top rope. And you see 200 and whatever he is, 235, 240 pounds, however much he weighs now, of Malicious Mike flying off the top rope and high cross body, splashing somebody like the Avalanche. You hear a big thunderous boom. You think lightning and thunder going out there. But anyway, Malicious Mike victorious. Then Richie Dagger put the sleeper on the Sandman, put him to sleep. Interesting match there. Sandman seemed to be, from what I could see anyway, from my vantage point, seemed to be afraid of the tattoo Richie Dagger had of the Grim Reaper on his arm. It would seem interesting, but the Superstar Mason Storm and Jeff Lindbergh had a hot match there, back and forth battle. I believe Jeff Lindbergh got the pin with that, with reversing a powerbomb into a Frankensteiner, and got a pin there. The Walking Weapon and Malicious Mike in a non-title match. Walking Weapon, well, he just couldn't take it to Malicious Mike in that time. I got to give Malicious Mike a little bit of credit there, but Walking Weapon, I took care of that by double teaming him till Jolton Jason came into the action there at Southern Bell from Memphis. Memphis Bell is what we call him now. But anyway, we're going to get some calls here real quick. WrestleTalk is a thing, but I'm quickly run down the SWF card. Then Dynamite D, Jolton Jason, of course. Double count out. Look at this. I was given a card by the ring announcer afterwards so that I can have all the times and everything of it, and it says double count out. Of course, I won that match. You know, Dynamite D always tells like it is and always wins everything. Of course, I did beat Jolton Jason because I was the last one standing in the ring in this grudge, no disqualification match, but they counted double count out. I'll have to talk to them about that. Anyway, it's WrestleTalk. This is Dynamite D. We want to hear from you. If you want to give us a call, we'll be here for the next hour, well, 2 hours or close to it, here, 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific time, and we want to talk about anything dealing with wrestling. You want to give us a call? We'll talk about 818-352-7152. 818-352-7152 is the telephone number. Let's get right to those phone calls. We know that people have been waiting on hold, so let's not keep them waiting anymore. Welcome to WrestleTalk. Who's this?
Hey, Dynamite, this is Nick from Century Cable, and I have a good feeling Jolton Jason is pretty sorry he ever heard the name Dynamite D right about now.
Well, I hope he is, and all I got to say is he's a tough guy, but I'm Dynamite D, and that's all there is to it.
Real quick, I have for all the people on Centcon Cable who don't get CRN anymore. I don't get CRN on my cable system, and I don't have a satellite. So what I did, I hooked up my cable to my radio, and you come out on 90.3 FM.
So that is a good way to do it, coming out on the FM dial, cable FM. Most cable systems have an option of broadcasting us in stereo, and a good amount of them do. So that would be a good way for you to do it. What is the frequency on that?
90.3.
90.3, and you guys want to check that out. It would vary in other cable systems as well, but check that out.
And yesterday, when you couldn't get Music Man on the phone, you asked a question about the sharpshooters in the WWF?
Yeah, someone else had talked about that. Charles, our buddy from Syncom Cable there, who hopefully he's listening. We did get an answer and a winner for that one. Did you have an answer, though?
Yeah, I was going to say Bret Hart, Terry Taylor, and Ronnie Garvin.
Yeah, those were the ones someone did answer later on in the show, so we did have a winner for that.
Were there any others?
No, we ended up getting the Music Man, and someone also correctly identified his musical collage. So
any other guys in the WWF that use the sharpshooter?
Oh, any other in WWF use the sharpshooter? Not that I know of. I'm trying to think if that was about it. But those were the ones that I could come up with. That was the three that we had come up for the answer.
I don't know if you've heard about this at all, but I think Warlord and Barbarian are getting back together under Harvey Winkleman.
Yeah, I heard a little bit about that. Should be a new interesting Powers of Pain combination.
They're going to go by the name Powers of Pain?
I don't know. Somebody had said they heard about getting back together. We would assume that they would go back as the new Powers of Pain, but they could go as something altogether different. They are dressed differently, kind of own individualized.
Because they had, I guess, Warlord had a match today, and they had Barbarian, up in the screen in one of those little interview things that they have during the matches.
Yeah.
And he was wearing his normal little furry thing, and Warlord was wearing his thing, but I guess that'll be probably a while before we see him.
Yeah.
There was a card in the Garden in New York on the night of Starrcade and I have a few results if you want them.
All right, go ahead.
Let's see, the matches, I know. Ted DiBiase, everyone thought that he had won the Intercontinental belt from Bret the Hitman Hart.
Yeah.
Like, went back to the locker room with it. But about 5 minutes later, Howard Finkel said that it was actually Sherry who had rung the bell. Therefore, Bret Hart retained the belt by, like, disqualification or something.
Oh.
Kind of cheap, if you ask me.
Yeah.
And Hulk Hogan pinned Ric Flair really quick.
You pinned him?
I have a few theories on this. The last time Flair was in New York, he got into, like, some trouble in the China Club with, I think, one of the Nasty Boys. And I think he just wanted to get out of the city pretty quick. I mean, you know, there's no way that Hogan could pin Flair that quick.
Yeah.
Pin him at all.
I think Flair was thinking of something else. Maybe, Flair has been known to try to get people's attitudes changed and stuff.
I mean, Flair makes Hogan real cocky.
Yeah. And I mean, I could see Flair kind of giving in certain situations to try to give Hogan that impression that Flair's vulnerable, and then, pow, just when he's not looking, Flair takes you out then.
And what's going on with Harley Race?
He, as far as I know, is still going to be with Luger for a lot of the big events like the Clashes and the pay-per-views, but I don't know if he's going to be with them at all times.
He's going to be with Hughes and Vader?
I don't think so. I think they're just going to use him with Luger.
I heard it was going to be the other way. Luger was going to go his own. Because I wonder, on the cover, they showed, like, the cover of the new WCW magazine.
Yeah.
With Eric Bischoff or whatever. And they showed Luger smiling. He looked like a real babyface. So?
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Anyway.
Interesting.
Okay, that's all for tonight, then.
All right, thanks a lot for calling. It's CRN, the Cable Radio Network, WrestleTalk. This is Dynamite D. 818-352-7152. Let's go on. Welcome to WrestleTalk. Who's this?
John from Heritage Cablevision.
All right, thanks for hanging online. What's on your mind tonight?
I'd like to know. I got a good match for WrestleMania 8.
Yeah.
Mario Jannetty against Shawn Michaels.
That would be pretty interesting. I think that I would have to give the advantage to somebody like Shawn Michaels in that, who I've seen a little bit more out of in the singles ranks than Marty Jannetty. So, right now I'd have to go with him. But, don't take Jannetty down as not being good at wrestling. He's a good high flyer as well, and would be an interesting combination.
And who do you think is the best tag team right now? Make a best tag team, Legion of Doom or the Steiners?
Legion of Doom right now, I think they're better. Steiners are good, but the Steiners would not be able to do a lot of the things they do to the Legion of Doom. They wouldn't be able to handle the other teams like they're nothing, and that's what they're dominating the teams that they're facing, but they really haven't faced the brunt of the competition yet.
Okay, one more thing. Legion of Doom. Did you see that Legion of Doom and Rockers match?
Yeah.
Last week. Well, I thought that was a pretty good match. It was starting off last week.
Well, it was a good match. The Rocker just ended up getting. The Rockers against a team like that, and just about any team has to use double team tactics against Legion of Doom, and the Rockers had to, and it just backfired, didn't work out, and they were both upset. I think Shawn Michaels a little more upset than Jannetty, but I think that, they have to do that, and it's going to happen one of these times when you go for a double team move or something, you're going to end up plowing the wrong guy.
And I think the show is great, and it should be on more longer and go on to 1993.
All right, well, thank you, and keep on listening. It's CRN, the Cable Radio Network. WrestleTalk is Dynamite D. I hope it will go on. It's 1992, hard to believe. January 5th, 1992. Let's see. Coming up later this year will be a series of very interesting pay-per-view events, I believe. World Championship Wrestling going to be having, of course, like WWF Royal Rumble coming up in a couple weeks. World Championship Wrestling going to be having one February 29th, or is it 29th? I can't remember the exact date, but late in February, I believe they're going to be having Super Brawl 2. WWF, of course, WrestleMania. Great American Bash got to come up sometime after that. We'll see what's up with that, so it should be very interesting. And then, of course, SummerSlam. So you got a lot going coming up this year with pay-per-views, so keep it in tune to your cable system, find out whether they're going to carry it or not. Let's go on to more calls. Welcome to WrestleTalk. Who's this?
Yeah, this is Tim Jarvis from Syncom.
How you doing tonight?
I just wanted to ask, at the end of all my questions, can you put me on hold?
Sure.
Okay. Did you say that Syncom Cable isn't getting your show anymore?
Some Syncom systems in some areas are not taking us.
Oh, I was going to say Channel 49 has it.
Were we always on 49 in your area?
Yeah.
Okay, because there are some cable systems that don't have us on anymore, or one that I heard. However, we had been on a bunch of cable systems, a bunch of channels at Syncom.
Yeah. Okay. I got a request for Music Man, the LOD scenes.
All right. I will tell you what, he's working on that right now. So now, like I mentioned before, once it's requested, he'll do his best to get it on when he gets it. So he'll work on that now, and if he gets it for you, then he will. If not, he'll do his best to find it as soon as he can.
I have a couple more things. Last night somebody called about they had like a sheet or something that told the wrestlers' real names.
Yeah, some guy was talking about that.
Yeah, if he calls tonight, can you tell him where he got it, or if it's just like a piece of paper, if he can get me a copy and send it?
All right. Well, if we get in touch with him, I don't remember exactly who that was. There's a few people that called to talk about that, but yeah, I'll see what I can do with that. I will say one thing. Dave Meltzer, in his newsletter, he's from Campbell, California. He produces a year-end book, and it produces these lists. I don't know if I find more information about that. I'll let you know about that. Okay.
Okay. And I have a top 10 list.
All right, what is it?
Okay, top 10 is singles. Number 10 is Marcus Alexander Bagwell. Number 9 is Sam Houston. Number 8 is Chris Chavez. Number 7 is a Patriot. Number 6 is Sting. Number 5 is Rick Rude. Number 4 is Undertaker. Number 3 is Hulk Hogan. Number 2 is Ric Flair. Number 1 is soon-to-be New World Heavyweight Champion, Roddy Piper.
All right, sounds good. Piper could very well walk out of the Royal Rumble and be introduced as the WWF Champion.
And I was wondering, Ric Flair starting to start something like the Four Horsemen again?
Yeah, somebody was talking about that earlier.
Yeah, what do you think if, Warlord dropped his manager and it ended up to be Ric Flair, Mr. Perfect, Shawn Michaels, and Warlord?
That would be interesting. I don't think the Warlord would fit in a situation like that. I just don't think that it would be something up his alley right now. I think it'd be better to get somebody like I don't know really if there'd be anybody, maybe somebody else who can wrestle rather than somebody big like the Warlord who just uses his power. Because a lot of times guys with the power and stuff like that will kind of get, I don't know, they'll kind of get egotistical and stuff that say that they're better than the other guys, and you don't want anybody like that on your team.
Can I ask a couple more questions, or?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Have you played the arcade game WrestleFest?
No, I haven't.
Pretty good.
Yeah, I've heard from some people it is.
Okay, is there going to be a Royal Rumble showdown?
There should be. I don't have a date on that, but it'll probably be like the Sunday, the week before the Royal Rumble. So, that would be next week, so I should check the TV guide for that or something.
Yeah. Do you have any matches or not?
For that card?
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't. I can check some highlights at a break.
Okay. And I wanted to know, who do you think would win? Andre the Giant when he was at his prime, or Abdullah the Butcher?
I would say Andre the Giant. I think he beat Abdullah the Butcher in quite a few matches among their time of being the two probably biggest guys around for a while.
Yeah, and last night somebody said 1 week after the Royal Rumble, there was like going to be a match for Roddy Piper versus Ric Flair. Is that on TV or?
I don't know. I haven't heard about that. I'm sure there's going to be some between those two. That might be on TV. That might not be on TV. It just all depends on what their schedule is going to be for. Because they usually have a main event type of a show, just after the Royal Rumble.
Yeah. Okay. Is Conan Chris Walker still using that name, Conan Chris Walker?
I haven't heard. He was wrestling on the card the other night in Long Beach, I guess, or the other day in Long Beach, and I haven't heard if he was still using. I know he's using Chris Walker. I would guess he would not be using that name, but maybe someone else calls up later and let you know. Hang on, all right?
Okay.
All right, it's CRN, the Cable Radio Network, WrestleTalk. This is Dynamite D. 818-352-7152. That's 818-352-7152. We'll be right back.
You watch it under. Hear the roar of the crowd. Hear the sound of the bell. And then wrestle. That's right, you can rent Slammer's professional wrestling ring by the hour and have more fun than a barrel of monkey flips. Get body slammed. Get suplexed off the top rope. Get pile driven. Get on that phone and call Slammer's Wrestling Gym at 818-897-6603. That's 818-897-6603. Slammer's Wrestling Gym is the first of its kind in the whole world, located at 12165 Brantford Street in Sun Valley. Come down and see the only wrestling museum and Hall of Fame. But most of all, come down to Slammer's Wrestling Gym, get in the ring, and wrestle. Some restrictions apply. Call now to make your ring reservations. 818-897-6603. That's 818-897-6603. CRN, the Cable Radio Network's WrestleTalk show. Here's the address. Send your letters to Dynamite D in care of CRN, the Cable Radio Network, Post Office Box 433, Sunland, California, 91041. That's Dynamite D, CRN, the Cable Radio Network, Post Office Box 433, Sunland, SUNLAND, California, 91041. Dynamite D's WrestleTalk show will continue on CRN, the Cable Radio Network.
818-352-7152. Let's get back to phone calls. Welcome to WrestleTalk. Who's this?
This is John from Warden Hills.
All right, and what's your cable system?
West Valley Cable.
What's on your mind?
Do you know where the Ultimate Warrior is?
No, I don't. He's probably at home right now wondering why nobody wants him to wrestle for them, because he's, last I heard, he was asking a lot of money, wanted to be paid a lot of money to wrestle, and I don't think people have the kind of money he wants.
I bought a magazine yesterday, and it said Ultimate Warrior's going to global.
Well, that would be interesting. If he has any plans, we'll sure to hear something soon.
Is Shawn Michaels is going to turn bad next week?
Well, he's already just about done it, so I guess if you just want to wait and see when the final thing happens on TV, it could probably happen next week, maybe.
Next week, the Rockers are going to be in a barbershop.
Okay, yeah, so that'll probably, you'll see some action going on the barbershop.
Do you know where the Samoan SWAT team is?
No, I don't. I haven't heard anything about them for a long time.
Okay, thanks.
All right, thanks for calling CRN, the Cable Radio Network. If I do hear something about them or anybody else out there knows anything about Samoan SWAT team or any other of the questions we get answered here on the Cable Radio, or get asked here on the Cable Radio Network, please call 818-352-7152. That's 818-352-7152. Give us a call and let us know what you've heard and help out everybody. A caller I talked about earlier about Dave Meltzer and his newsletter or whatever, and I talked about the book, just saw it, had like a lot of the wrestler and their names and stuff like that, which I don't really care for, but if you want that, just a radio show, I'll be fair. Wrestling Observer is the newsletter. You can find out it's a pretty good newsletter. It's got a lot of information. I don't personally like it because it says a lot of things that I think is speculation at times, and says a lot of other things that I think is unnecessary, but to each his own. You can give it a try out, and Wrestling Observer, I'll give you the address in after our next break, so get your pens and pencils ready. We'll go to a call right now. Welcome to WrestleTalk. Who's this?
Lewis, what's on the cable?
All right. What's on your mind tonight?
The caller earlier called about the Flair Piper.
Yeah.
They announced today on Wrestling Challenge that they're going to be wrestling at the LA Sports Arena on the 8th of February.
February 8th?
Yeah.
Okay, so they're going to be wrestling there, but someone else had mentioned something about, I don't know if it was they're going to be wrestling at Madison Square Garden or somebody, or somewhere, but they said there's supposed to be a big match between the two that they're going to be, that they had talked about, or somebody had talked about for a taping or something.
No, I have the card for the Crash if you'd like to hear it.
Oh, that'd be good, yeah.
Sting and Ricky Steamboat versus Rick Rude and Steve Austin. Dustin Rhodes, Barry Windham, and Ron Simmons versus Arn Anderson, Bobby Eaton, and Larry Zbyszko. The Steiner Brothers versus Mr. Hughes and Big Van Vader. Van Hammer versus Cactus Jack. PN News versus Diamond Dallas Page. Ricky Morton versus Johnny B. Bad. Brian Pillman and the Patriots against the Young Pistols and the Diamond Stud. And Terry Taylor versus Tommy Rich.
Terry Taylor, Tommy Rich match. That's pretty interesting.
I've noticed Lex Luger's not on the card. I'm not sure if I might have missed something.
Now, somebody had said that he was taking the whole month of January off. And that when is that, January, or is it?
21st.
Huh?
The Clash?
Yeah.
It's on the 21st.
21st. Okay, so if he's taking the whole month off, then that would be, the reason why you don't see him on there. But it's tough to leave your world champion off a card like that, I think.
Isn't that kind of weird giving your world champion a month off doesn't he have to defend the title every 30 days?
Yeah, I think he'll probably defend it, or if he hasn't already defended it once now, he'll defend it, within the 30-day period. But they've never seemed to be too heavy on that rule anyway with other titles.
I heard Kevin Von Erich might decide not to come to WWF or sign a contract and just head to WCW and fight and wrestle without a contract for a while and see how it works out.
Yeah, the problem with that is he was on the Tuesday in Texas, same night. They did some tapings for some shows, and he was one of them, and they said, no, we don't want him, along with Chris Adams and Ron and Don Harris. They said, no, we don't want you guys. So he wasn't offered anything by WWF. I don't know if he had since been offered anything.
And I heard Lady Blossom decided to take some time off because she's going to have a baby, but she might be coming back afterwards.
That's interesting.
You fit in with the Dangerous Alliance with Medusa?
No, I think you'd probably see some separating of the ways of some of the Dangerous Alliance people, if not just Lady Blossom.
And I heard John Tolis is back managing Dan Spivey in the UWF. Is he, what was the reason that he left the WWF? He just didn't like it, or? Yeah, well,
I guess he wasn't working out for what they had in mind, so they said they didn't need him anymore.
And the battle for, I guess, the Nature Boys, Buddy Rogers and Buddy Lindell, how long has Buddy Rogers been retired?
I really don't know when he retired finally, but seems to me he had wrestled. Shoot, I can't even remember when he officially retired or anything, but I thought he had wrestled at least within the 90s, decade of the 90s at least once or something, but I don't know. I was never really following much of his career or heard much about him, other than, he was WWF and the first WWF champion after NWA championship.
I heard Paul Ondos is a heavyweight champion in one of those local small promotions. Does he ever want to go back maybe to WCW, since I think he is from around the Georgia area?
Yeah, he is. I don't know if he wants to. A lot of times I think with a lot of the smaller promotions, you don't have to travel as much, and I think that takes a lot out of a lot of guys, and they like the fact that they don't have to travel for some of these things, and WCW would probably make them travel. But I don't think that's like the reason why he's staying out. It could be money problems or personal differences.
All right, thanks a lot.
Thanks for calling. It's CRN, Cable Radio Network. Dynamite D here with you, 818-352-7152. Welcome to WrestleTalk. Who's this?
I'm Charles, Sync on Cable.
All right, hey, how you doing?
Good. How's your head doing now?
Oh, doing all right.
And what's this thing about the Cauliflower Alley Club's annual banquet?
Cauliflower Alley Club is a whole bunch of wrestlers joined the organization called Cauliflower Alley Club to the Cauliflower Ears after wrestling all the time, and each year they get together and they have a big banquet, and it's held, right around middle or end of March.
Yeah, it's going to be March 21st.
Yeah, and they just get together, and a whole bunch of past wrestlers are honored, and boxers as well, and stuff like that. And it's just kind of like a group get-together type of a thing. It's a formal dinner type of an event with a lot of people will be there, and I'll be making my appearance at third straight one now.
And I like the main event a lot. People, other people in other areas should try to subscribe to it. It tells you a lot about Slammers and a lot about the people there and how they do stuff. So everybody out there should try to subscribe because it's really good thing to read. I enjoyed it very much.
Yeah, well, Slimer's Main Event newsletter is the official newsletter of Slimer's Wrestling Gym, and it'll tell you just about everything you need to know. I mean, subscribing to that or something is just like, if you can't make it down to Slimer's or something, I suggest that you at least do subscribe to the newsletter. That's a good point.
And that for the six-man tag team thing, that was a really good match. I've never seen one of those before.
Yeah, it was very interesting. We had a lot of people had heard or seen of that type of a match, and we figured that if we got 6 guys that would be willing to go in there in a free-for-all type of tag combination there, we could do it, and it seemed to work out pretty good. Unfortunately, like I said, I didn't want to steal a spotlight and win everything, so, we'll talk about that later, but Joel and Jason and Walking Weapon were the last 2 in there, and Walking Weapon ended up winning that one.
I know that was a cheap way they decided to pin you. The way they double-teamed you.
Oh, yeah. Jeff Lindbergh, well, I don't know, I guess some people would say that I was trying to put Jeff Lindbergh on the shelf or something, but still double-team action there.
And they said not on, and the other guys who were on 49 were also on Channel 1.
Okay.
And I have some things to talk to you about. Can you put me on hold?
Yeah, hang on the line. It's CRN, the Cable Radio Network of WrestleTalk. This is Dynamite D, 818-352-7152. In fact, you can hear the address and telephone number of Slammers in here. Find out more about their main event newsletter or the SWF or the Grunt store with all the merchandise and everything. We'll be back here on the Cable Radio Network in just a moment. Stay tuned, everybody. And when we come back from the break immediately following that, I'll give you the address to Dave Meltzer and his newsletter.
And be a wrestler. Hear the roar of the crowd. Hear the sound of the bell. And then wrestle. That's right, you can rent Slammer's professional wrestling ring by the hour and have more fun than a barrel of monkey flips. Get body slammed. Get suplexed off the top rope. Get pile driven. Get on that phone and call Slammer's Wrestling Gym at 818-897-6603. That's 818-897-6603. Slammer's Wrestling Gym is the first of its kind in the whole world. Located at 12165 Branford Street in Sun Valley. Come down and see the only wrestling museum and Hall of Fame. But most of all, come down to Slammer's Wrestling Gym, get in the ring, and wrestle. Some restrictions apply. Call now to make your ring reservations. 818-897-6603. That's 818-897-6603.
We'll talk here. Just checking through this small newsletter that I had here, and I was talking about different radio shows, talking about wrestling, and of course, everybody knows that Dynamite D's is the best one because I say so. I'm Dynamite D. But there are some other ones. Let's see. There's a couple other ones. Let's see. There's one out of New Jersey, one out of Philadelphia, one out of Springfield, one out of Garden City, out of Baltimore, one out of New York, one out of Long Island, and Jim Ross is out of Atlanta. That's Sunday, 9 to 10 p.m. Eastern time, so that'd be 6 to 7. So I'm thinking about giving him a call one time and chatting with him there on his radio show. Kind of like radio show host to radio show host, if you know what I mean. Then there's another one out of Minneapolis. So there are quite a few, but, I never really started hearing about them until I'd been on the air for about 2 years here. So that's when they started coming out into a little bit more noted of a thing here, but most of them, you know, none of them are on cable, like Cable Radio Network here. None of them are on a station like this, broadcast nationwide, so we got them there. And we also got them because I'm Dynamite D, and I'm the host of the Wrestle Talk Show, and you can call and talk about wrestling, whatever you want to talk about. The address I was going to give you, I promised you, here it is. It is Wrestling Observer, P.O. Box 1228, Campbell, California, Campbell, California, zip code 95009-1228. So once again, that's Wrestling Observer, Dave Meltzer, P.O. Box 1228, Campbell, Campbell, California, 95009-1228. Anybody else out there getting that? I think it's $6 for four issue set, but I wouldn't suggest sending money right away. Well, you know, you might want to write for information about prices and stuff like that, and then check up on them later. But tell them also you heard about it from Dynamite D, and that would be nice, I guess, if he gets some people checking out here. Let's go on to more calls here on the Wrestle Talk Show. 818-352-7152. A smashing card at Slimer's Wrestling Gym, to say the least, smashing back and forth. A lot of great athletes in the SWF, and I will tip my hat off, although I'm not wearing it right now. When I am wearing it, I'll tip it off to some of the great athletes like Jeff Lindbergh. Well, I won't include Jolt and Jason because, well, I'll include him as a great athlete, but I'm better. The Walking Weapon, nice guy there, good friend of mine. Malicious Mike, the champ, not as malicious as he should be. I think he's losing a step, and it's probably about time I should sneak in and grab that belt from him. Superstar Mason Storm, just to name a few. I don't want to name them all because then if I leave somebody out on accident, I don't want them getting yelling at me. So Dynamite D, of course, is the top of the ladder, and I'm number one, and don't anybody tell me any different because it doesn't matter because I'm the host of the Wrestle Talk Show and you're not. Let's go on to more calls now. Hi, welcome to Wrestle Talk. Who's this?
Yeah, this is Kinga. I'm calling from Tennessee.
Okay, what's on your mind tonight?
Yes, I would like to know, do you think that the Rockers is just going to be a little phase between them, or do you think that this is something that's going to go on for a long time?
I think it's something that's going to end the Rockers at least for a year or maybe more.
But you see, they've been together for so long, you know.
Yeah, and they've been wanting to get at each other for so long, too, and now they're going to get their chance.
Well, it's a shame to see a good team like that have to end so early, you know.
Yeah, well, like I said, you know, they could get back together in a year or so, and maybe even be a better team by then.
Yes, and I would like to know about, you know, the sports arena, the LA Sports Arena, how they have all these matches and stuff. I mean, they have such big cards and stuff, but how come they never put them on, like, Saturday Night's Main Event or nothing? They practically have WrestleMania cards going on, you know, over there in the arena, sports arena.
Well, the problem is they really don't have the facility or the equipment to come in and do a full Saturday Night Main Event type of a shoot for TV production. A lot goes into it to get you guys a good quality show that, you know, see. I mean, you can go down there and see, oh, these are great matches. Why couldn't they have a camera here? Pay, you know, they got to pay this cameraman, that cameraman, this technician, that technician. They got to, you know, it just starts getting real expensive, and they can't afford to do that. So they do their best with what they are able to get.
Yes, and do you think about the situation with the superstar Billy Graham, his allegations towards Hulk Hogan? Do you believe that they're true or not?
Well, you know, he really didn't have any problem through his whole career with anything that was going on, and now all he wants to do is try to get some money, I guess, and take him out. I don't know what his whole story is. I don't know the whole thing. I think you know, from what I've heard, you really can't believe everything from these guys. Like Inside Edition had a thing with Dr. D, Dave Schultz, and superstar Billy Graham on it, and I mean, what are they doing now? Nothing. So what do they have to do? Get in the spotlight, try to get some money or something? It's all, I think it's all about trying to get money. They really, I think, could care less what's happening with this guy because it's his body and whatever he's doing to it, you know, it should be his.
Injected stories in Hulk Hogan, you know.
Well, like I said, I wasn't there, and I don't know what he could say whatever he wants, and it's really not going to matter. People are going to say, well, I'll believe this guy because he's superstar Billy Graham, but I don't think he should be going on record or anything like that, say anything like that.
Well, why didn't Hulk Hogan testify in court or whatever?
I don't know the situation with that. I guess he was excused from having to appear, but he was one of the guys quoted in the thing, and Hogan went on the Arsenio Hall show stating that he had used steroids for an arm injury under doctor's supervision. So that's the extent which he's talking about right now. But it's a whole issue where there's too much information that hasn't been talked about, or too much information that's been talked about that may not be true. So I really can't comment on the whole situation on what it is. But I would just hope that anybody out there listening would not think that any of these wrestlers do steroids, so it's okay for you to do them. I'd say just make your own judgments and stay within confines of the law, and everything should be all right with you.
Yeah, I think they should test test all the wrestlers, not just randomly. I think it should be every one of them,
Well, maybe that's what it will come to, and
a lot of people look up to these wrestlers. A lot of the young kids, like in the inside a dish, like Superstar Billy Graham was saying, you're not gonna get that big just on prayers and vitamins. I mean, a lot of these guys are really doing some heavy stuff, and they might end up like Alvaro. So, you could be saving one of their lives by just testing them, and them getting caught.
Yeah, well, they're going to have to do something. I think something will be done, but it's just going to be time. It's not going to be, anybody saying anything or anybody saying that this should happen or doing this. It'll all happen as time passes, I think.
All right, then. Thank you very much.
Thanks for calling. It's CRN, the Cable Radio Network. WrestleTalk. This is Dynamite D. 818-352-7152. Let's go on and say, welcome to WrestleTalk. Who's this?
This is Rick.
Which cable system?
Ready?
What's on your mind?
I want to know about someone SWAT team where they're at.
Where are they?
They're in the Pacific Northwest.
Pacific Northwest?
Yeah.
How have they been doing?
They changed their names. I think one of them was called SWAT 2.
Yeah.
And two of them are one was in Mexico and one was in Japan.
All right. Any other thing you want to talk about tonight?
Sean.
Yeah.
I want to give him a number and talk to him.
All right, well, I'll put you on hold at the end of the show, or at the end of the call here, and get down that information for you, all right?
I want to ask another question.
Yeah.
What do you think if they had a double main event on WrestleMania?
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan against Bret Hart, possibly.
A double main event?
Yeah, that.
Type of a...
And the winner would take on maybe a U.S. champion or world champion from the other federation.
Be interesting. You're really into a lot of complicated things. I mean, people aren't going to understand what the whole reason behind that is. It's a tough situation, and as far as inter-federation matches, I don't think you'll see any of those in WWF.
All right. Also, one more thing. I admire you. I've been trying to get through the phone, this line for a long time, and I'm kind of nervous, but you're pretty good in the show. And
yeah. Well, thanks a lot.
That show you used to have on Channel 13 was called Pro Wrestling This Week.
Yeah.
Is it on anymore?
I think there's a version of Pro Wrestling This Week on, but I'm not sure exactly where it is. I've read things about it and stuff, but I don't know the whole deal with that. And that one was Joe Pedicino and Gordon Soul. Yeah, that one specifically is not.
Okay.
All right, hang on the line here. It's CRN, the Cable Radio Network. Let's go on to another call. Welcome to WrestleTalk. Who's this?
This is Cheryl from Continental Cable. I'm calling to find out, The Undertaker looks very familiar. I think I've seen him in the WCW under the name Mean Mark Callis.
Yeah.
Is that true?
That's him.
And wasn't he also in USWA at one time?
Yeah, I don't know exactly where all the places he is, but he has been around a lot of the smaller promotions.
So he is the same guy?
Yes.
Okay, also, what happened to Andre the Giant?
Last I heard he was wrestling in Japan, health problems didn't bother him, but he was able to get back in the ring and wrestle in Japan with the Giant Baba in some tag team matches.
And his leg is all healed up?
I guess it's healed up enough to get in the ring. He doesn't have to do much. Falls on you, and, it's like most other guys pound on you for a week.
Okay, well, thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot for calling. It's CRN, the Cable Radio Network, WrestleTalk. This is Dynamite D, 818-352-7152. We'll be back right after this.
You watch it on TV, but have you ever done it? Get in the ring at Slammer's Wrestling Gym and be a wrestler.
1-8-352-7152. That's 818-352-7152 here. We're going to get some more calls as we are finishing up close to the first hour of the show. About 2 minutes left. Welcome to WrestleTalk. Who's this?
This is Dave.
Which cable system?
West Valley Cable System.
And what do you want to talk about tonight?
Well, I wanted to get your opinion on something. I was in the newsstand the other day, and I saw that Ted Turner was Times Man of the Year. I wanted to know what you thought about that.
Well, did you see the big picture? What is it, on page like 32 or 33 or something like that?
I just saw the cover. I didn't get a chance to read the article.
Open it up, and you'll see a picture of the Marlboro Man. That's what it looks like to most people. But, I think I didn't get a chance to read the whole article or anything, but, I really don't have any, opinion on whether or not that's a good or a bad choice. I just think that, I don't know the criteria for picking anybody like that.
Well, just in respect for what he's done to what was the NWA.
Well,
kind of definitely destroyed, like, a lot of the credibility of that federation.
Well, all he's done is kept wrestling on his network, and people working for him have done the destroying. He just signed the checks, and
that's the problem, that he allowed that to do. That he allowed himself to do that just to try and ensure ratings for his superstation.
Well, he wants it on there. If he hadn't bought it, I don't know if anybody would have, and there wouldn't be one right now to be picking on. So I don't know if that's good, bad, or indifferent. I don't think that alone or should be anything in the criteria whether or not he's Man of the Year. But apparently all he had done, and the Crockett's couldn't pay the bills, so he kind of bailed them out in respect to keep the WCW or NWA at the time on his station, and he didn't know a thing about wrestling. It's not his pride and joy. Something like the Atlanta Braves or something is.
But don't you think that although the Crockett's monetarily mismanaged, the NWA don't you think they provided the best pure wrestling around during the 80s?
There's really not much to say against that. I mean, they did a good job, but I don't know all the details or anything, why they went out, but they had their problems, and I think that it goes deeper than just that they did the job through the 80s, but times change, and people's opinions change, and what people want changes, so it's really tough to keep up and keep everybody satisfied.
That's true. Do you think Ric Flair is going to be the WWF champion in a couple of weeks?
I think if he doesn't win at the Royal Rumble, he'll take it sometime soon thereafter, and who knows, he may have to wait as long as till WrestleMania before he even gets a shot at it if he doesn't win at the Royal Rumble, but I think he'll be champion by summer, if not before then.
Okay, can I give you a quick prediction, and then...
Yeah.
He's going to win the title. Him or Sid, I think him, not Sid Vicious, is going to win the title, and then WrestleMania 8 will be him defending it against Hulk Hogan. And Mean Mark Ellis was the Punisher in USW.
Yeah, the Punisher. I know he wrestles Punisher, and there's a couple others that he wrestled as, but... all right, thanks a lot, and we'll check it out and see if Ric Flair can get that belt. And I do think if he has it by WrestleMania, it'll be he and Hogan, no doubt.
All right, thanks a lot.
Thanks for calling. It's CRN, Cable Radio Network, or WrestleTalk. This is Dynamite D. We want to hear from you at 818-352-7152. If you're not listening to us other than on hold or something for some reason, your cable system's not carrying us. If your cable system is carrying us, do it as well. Write a letter to your cable system stating that you like Cable Radio Network and you never want to see it disappear from your cable system, and you like the cable system because they're carrying CRN and it gives you shows that you want to hear. And that will help you out getting it, and that'll help us out staying around here on the cable systems. Let's go into more calls. Welcome to WrestleTalk. Who's this?
My name's Andy. I'm calling from Anaheim, Multivision Cable.
All right. What's on your mind tonight?
Oh, not much. How you doing tonight?
Doing pretty good.
Hey, I got a couple things I want to talk to you with. One thing I have to agree with you on. A couple weeks ago you mentioned that you think there's an overabundance of wrestling on TV.
Yeah.
And I think that nothing bears that out more than the past couple weeks. I got Survivor Series. All I thought Survivor Series was a $25 commercial for Tuesday in Texas. So had to do that. Put out the extra bucks. Got Tuesday in Texas. That just looked like a regular Saturday night main event show to me. And then last week I got the not Halloween Havoc, but the pay-per-view from
Starcade.
Yeah. What a joke that was. I gotta tell you, the camera work on that and the announcing was terrible. Do you have an opinion on that?
I have not seen the entire show yet, so I really don't have an opinion on what a job is. I have heard cross views. Some people love it, some people hate it, so it's really mixed emotions out there for it.
You do think that there is too much wrestling on TV, and that's what maybe is bringing down these pay-per-view cards in quality?
Yeah, that is, I mean, there's... it's kind of like WrestleMania 1 or WrestleMania 2. You know, when you get into WrestleMania 1, I think the talk for that was the greatest wrestling extravaganza of all time. Now, what you got to do a year later, you got to try and top that. And you can't top every single thing every time you do it. And that's what the fans expect because they see it so often. And when you don't top your last pay-per-view card or you don't top a couple matches that people might have seen across the country in the house shows, you're going to get a problem with people saying, this isn't what I expected. This is less than what I expected. This guy, I expected him to do better. I expected this to happen. I expected that. People's expectations rise because you keep rising them. You've got to do something to give the people something special. For instance, if you showed everybody an entire match between, say, the Jushin Liger match, if you just showed highlights of that match, people would want to see more. If you show an entire match with that guy, people see it, they see everything he does in one match, and they don't want to look for anything new next time he wrestles. That's where the problem is. They see so much of this stuff on TV, nothing new can be done to give the fans something to look forward to.
You bring up Jushin Thunder Liger. That guy is a very talented wrestler, but you know what? I think the WCW must be aware of the Japanese presence in wrestling because it seems like they're starting to go to that type of style a little bit. Guys flying out of the ring and more scientific wrestlers. What do you think?
Well, I think a lot of the fans enjoy that, and it's something that, you know, to see that the fans could say, wow, that's better than seeing an arm lock for 15 minutes. It's better than seeing a guy just press you over his head and drop you on the ground. I think they're seeing something that they can relate better to, these guys flying around, these guys taking the risks. It's more or less the more spectacular they are, the better they are, and that could be a problem because it's not necessarily true, but WCW has tried to get into that type of a thing to get a different crowd.
Overall, do you think WCW is making a slight comeback? I mean, they seem to have gotten with Steamboat and with Rude, and plus on TV they seem to have a lot better matches lately. Do you think they're making a comeback of sorts?
Yeah, I think they are. I think that the problem still is there's so much going on. They don't have enough matches to support all the TV shows. WWF doesn't either, but the wrestling is in demand enough to see that. However, I would say the ratings would go up dramatically in other shows, in some of their shows, if they were to only offer that show, because people would say, well, if I don't see the match here on Primetime Wrestling on a Monday night on USA for WWF, I can always tune in and get a chance to see it next week on Superstars or the Wrestling Challenge or this and that, or USA's other show. They got All American Wrestling. I mean, it's just a problem. It's same for WCW. If they don't see it on the main event, they can see it on World Championship Wrestling or Worldwide Wrestling or something. They always have a place where they can say, well, if I don't see this one, I'll see the next one. And if you get the people one opportunity to see it, people are going to tune in to see it, and they're going to want to see more, and they're going to pay to go to the arena to see more.
I agree. On Saturday night before your show, I heard a show out of Vegas called Wrestling Insiders. Are you aware of that show? They had Superstar Graham on there talking about the Inside Edition piece.
Okay, I've heard of that.
It's out of Vegas. It's not that easy to get, but it's not that difficult. But on that Inside Edition thing, they pulled no punches. I don't know if you got a chance to see that, but they really ripped Hogan.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't talk about other wrestlers. They didn't talk about other sports with steroids. All they talked about was Hulk Hogan, and they were just ripping him. Now, I agree with what you said earlier to the other guy about Graham and Schultz doing this for money. That's pretty obvious since those guys are out of wrestling. But don't you think that deep down, when other people hear about this and other people see about this, don't you think that Hogan and or WWF has to do something? Do you think they have to come out and say something?
Well, I don't know. I don't know what the whole theory behind their saying all this and driving the attack towards the Hulk Hogan is. When you're going to attack somebody, why not attack the guy who's sitting at the top right now? And why not? You know, the WWF. They were both wrestlers part of WWF, and WWF. Once you're out with them, you're out with them. You know, once you're in with them, you're in with them until something goes on, and you're out.
You never leave on a good term. In other words,
it's tough to. You can. But if you leave on a bad term, you're signing you're signing sort of a certificate that you're not going to get work very much, if at all, and probably not back into, say, the WWF. So if you're out of it, if they're against you, you know, it's tough to find a job. So you're going to knock them. You're going to try to bring them down however you can. I think that something will be done as this all passes, but it's got to be done on, say, WWF or WCW's terms. Can't be done because Billy Graham and David Schultz are putting the allegations of steroid abuse to Hulk Hogan. I think that if they're going to go through with all that, all they're showing is that they're out there for the buck, and people aren't going to take their credibility into effect when they know the past differences between them and the WWF and even some of the wrestlers.
Two other things. Now, Metzler was on that show. I know what your opinion of his newsletter is. I have it. I like it, but there again, that's my opinion.
Yeah.
He happened to mention that, I lost my whole train of thought. That Graham was interviewed for a 2020 show, and I guess that's going to come up next month. Now, this thing is building. At first it's on Inside Edition, and now it's going to be on 2020. This thing is not stopping. It's even getting bigger. And it sounded to me like the show on 2020 was just going to really, really rip the WWF and all wrestlers in general.
Yeah, well, like I said, it's really tough to form an opinion or anything without knowing all the facts, and that's why, I don't like to discuss these issues. Like I've always said, I'm not there when these situations go on, so I'm not one to go ahead and comment, whereas somebody like a Dave Meltzer would hear it from somebody who could be a reliable source. Not saying that he doesn't have any reliable source or anything, but as soon as you hear it from somebody else, there's always a chance that you're going to get the story messed up, and that's why I don't, I don't know everything personally. I'm not going to really make a profound comment or statement on it.
Okay, following up on that, do you think that overall, with radio shows like yours is a good show, there's a lot of other shows, there's newsletters and everything, do you think that right now wrestling is being, not exposed, but I mean, talked about in so many other kinds of medias right now? You can just get information, inside information, about anything, anytime, anywhere.
Yeah, I think the thing is, everybody sees that it can be easy to do something like that. I mean, as far as the radio shows, people hear about one radio show, and they say, well, I can do a radio show too, let's get something together. I'll talk to my friend who's got a, friend who works at the station, and we'll get a radio show, and we'll talk about wrestling. I think everybody is trying to, and I even did this when I first started going on there, everybody's trying to tell everyone how much they know about wrestling. It's always been the big thing among a lot of different wrestling fans fans to know more than your friend. And I think that that's what a lot of these guys who write newsletters are doing, what a lot of these guys who do radio shows are doing now. They're trying to brag about what they know. I'm not here to brag about what I know. I'm just here to talk about it to everybody, have some fun with everybody. It's just something that I think people who...
You think people are taking it too seriously?
Yes and no. I think people that they're trying to earn a living off something like this because they can't go out there and earn a living as a wrestler, and they know they can't. I would say to each person out there that writes a newsletter, that reads a newsletter, that has a talk show, that calls a talk show on wrestling, that picks up a wrestling magazine, I would suggest each and every one of those goes down, whether it's to Slammer's Wrestling Gym or it goes down to some wrestling school, wherever near them or somewhere, gets in a ring and wrestles around with somebody who's been in there for some years. They can show them what it's all about and form their own opinion from that. I think everybody's attitude would change if they had to get in the ring and wrestle, and I think that there's nothing, they can really say in writing what can be said by getting in the ring, getting hoisted up over somebody's head and body slammed, getting chopped, getting, clotheslined, getting hit with a left and a right or something. It's getting in the ring and experiencing it is going to change the opinion of everybody on wrestling, and people are going to say, well, maybe I shouldn't, say this about it, in my newsletter. Maybe I shouldn't talk about this on my show.
Yeah, well, I think you being a wrestler would know more than anybody that obviously you're out there getting the crap beat out of you, so to speak, and it can't be that fun. Do you know of any, off the subject, do you know of any other WCW cards coming to L.A. at all? I know you went to one, you broadcast from one a few months back.
Yeah, they were supposed to come in sometime early January, but I guess they had a scheduling change or something, so March was the next time they were going to come out.
You know of any new wrestlers coming into WWF at all? I know you said Brian Adams failed a tryout and Von Erich failed a tryout. You know of any other new ones coming in for sure?
Well, Chris Walker's been in for a little while now.
I'm wrestling in Anaheim. He's good.
Yeah, he should be making his TV appearance in a month or so, I would guess, right after they bring in Chris Chavis. But as far as that goes, there was somebody else that they were bringing in for some tryouts. I'll have to check out for that. Like I said, newsletters, I use them too. A lot of times on the shows they say this person's getting a tryout and stuff, but I'll have to check and see if I have that information. But not right now, nobody coming directly in.
Besides the SWF, is there any other local wrestling in Southern California? I know there used to be some Lucha Libre cards in Long Beach.
Yeah, as far as I know, well, maybe not as far as I know, Lucha Libre was going on, I think, either every other or every week. Down there in Long Beach. But other than that, it's scattered. You'll hear one from time to time. There could be one coming up in Reseda. I heard there's supposed to be one in December, but it was changed to sometime in January. So they're trying to get some small ones, going around.
But you remember the one a couple years ago that was out in San Bernardino with Victor Rivera and John Tolis and...
No, I don't.
It was pretty weak. Well, anyways, it was good talking to you. By the way, on that radio show from Vegas, I've also read that Sid Vicious was off for a month. They said that he was out of WCW.
The WWF or
they said, I'm sorry. Lex Luger.
Uh-huh.
They said, a couple of your listeners said that he was off for a month.
Yeah.
Radio show from Vegas, they said he was out of WCW.
Yeah, there was talk about that he had quit once,
right,
and they'd gotten him back. But off. Why would your champion be off for a month? It's going to be very interesting to see what becomes of that situation. I really haven't heard much about off or being off or coming in, but it would be interesting to see what happens now.
Hey, good talking to you. I like your show.
All right, take it easy.
All right.
It's CRN, the Cable Radio Network. Got a little long there, but some information out there that you might want to hear about it. And if you don't, we'll just wait for your turn to call in and then talk to. Let's go on right now. Welcome to WrestleTalk. Who's this?
This is Scott from Valley Cable.
All right, thanks for hanging on the line. What's on your mind tonight?
Yeah, could it be possible that Lex Luger is suspended for a month?
I guess they could suspend him. I would expect them to strip him with a title if they did that.
On a few months ago on your show, I heard that he was coming to the WWF.
Somebody had said that they think he will be coming to the WWF. I mean, see, words always get thrown around like that. Like you heard me with the last call talking about newsletters and everything. Somebody says to their friend inside, say, one of the organizations, hey, great Lex Luger be coming over, right? And somebody says, yeah, and then they say, oh, I'm going to call my friend and tell him that he's got a newsletter. Lex Luger's coming to WWF, and he releases it. I wants to be the first one to do it, and it's not true. It's just speculation, or it's just wishful thinking or something, and then it gets out. But a lot of these things, talks have been going back and forth, and they have to be going back and forth between a lot of the people who handle, say, or Lex Luger, whether he handles his own business or whether it deals through people. Talk's got to be going back and forth, and it's got to constantly be going on. And one of these times, somebody's going to say, okay, yeah, we'll do it. And you never know if it's for sure. Flair was supposed to come into the WWF in SummerSlam of '88, but it never happened.
So what's happening at the next SWF event?
Well, I don't know right now. There'll probably be a rematch between me and Joel and Jason, according to this double count-out. Really, not much was settled. I could care less whether I get in the ring with him anyway with that Southern Belle there, Memphis Belle, Joel and Jason. But I think that there's talk. Long John Silver demanded a title shot. I don't know if the President Ray will sanction one between he and Malicious Mike, but I think that could be in the works. Walking Weapon might get another shot at Malicious Mike, but it should be interesting to see. I'll let you know next week.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
All right, thanks for calling. It's CRN, the Cable Radio Network, WrestleTalk. This is Dynamite D. We got to take a break. We'll be right back. I don't want to waste my time. Welcome to WrestleTalk. Who's this?
Yeah, hello?
Yeah, you're on WrestleTalk. Who's this?
Yeah, I'm Bernard from Heritage Cablevision.
All right, thanks for hanging out. What's on your mind tonight?
Yeah, the Ultimate Warrior, I think that type of wrestler, they're asking all about him and where he is at. I would really prefer him to stay out of wrestling, He's the type of wrestler that I think really makes wrestling have a bad name. And that's what I think about him.
Well, yeah, a lot of people share that opinion. A lot of people say, when you look at wrestling ability and wrestling, the talent as far as technical skills, you don't see much. If he has it, he doesn't use it. But then again, when you're pumped up like that, when you're muscular, when you're a powerful wrestler, they don't expect you to use or know that technical stuff. And it's really bad because wrestling is all about, the whole wrestler as a whole, whether power is a major factor or technique or ability to get a crowd either upset at him or in love with him, something like that. It's got to be a whole combination of everything. And you got one-dimensional wrestlers and you get tired of them after a while.
Yeah, what do you know about the Lightning Kid?
Not much. Of course, as they always state, he studied a lot with the Japanese style of wrestling. He's a young guy who is very, very good, very athletic, and very risk-taking. I don't know much more. I had some information on him, but he's basically been around for just a short time now, and been a real surprise to a lot of people on his ability.
Yeah, why don't they admit that Mr. Perfect is injured, and that's the only reason he lost the Intercontinental belt at...
They had said something about his injuries keeping him out. Vince McMahon, I guess, had said something to him in a comment. And they really, haven't talked much about whether or not he's coming back or when he is, but he always acts like he could come back at any time.
In Lucha Libre, do you know who that Canadian vampire is?
No, I don't. I don't follow Lucha Libre enough, but I will write that down, and Dan Farron, referee at Slammers, who's guest from time to time on the show here, might be able to know.
All right, and I got a top 10 power wrestlers.
Mm-hmm.
Number 10 is the Warlord. Number 9 is the Ultimate Warrior. Number 8, Nikita Koloff. Number 7, Hulk Hogan. Number 6, The Undertaker. Number 5, Steve Williams. Number 4, Rick Steiner. Number 3, Scott Steiner. Number 2, Sid Justice. And number 1, Lex Luger.
All right, sounds pretty good. Thanks a lot for calling. All right, it's CRN, the Cable Radio Network, WrestleTalk. This is Dynamite D, 818-352-7152. That's 818-352-7152. We're going to go on to more calls. Welcome to WrestleTalk. Who's this?
Yo, Dynamite D, the one and only superstar Mason Storm, calling you from the hot tub.
Hey, how you doing?
Oh, not too good. My back's kind of hurting. Another incredible card at Slammers Wrestling Gym today.
It sure was.
Well, except for one thing, you know, I'm kind of getting tired of this lead-handed referee who, out of maybe 150 pounds that he weighs, has 75 pounds of it in his left hand or right hand, whichever one he pretends to count with, giving out the slow counts. And again, Jeff Lindbergh cheating. You were there. You saw those closed fists. And I mean, you know, I think I'm going to ask President Ray to get myself a referee's license, you know, because I'm just getting sick of the terrible officiating.
So you're just kind of going on that Dan Farron. Well, I'm not sure he could count to 3 that much, but if he does, you know, you never know when he's going to make that final 3 count. I think he's got a mind of his own, and unfortunately, he's not here to defend himself right now. But we'll see if we can get some words from him later on.
Well, I mean, I don't know. There's nothing more I can say. But let's go on about this Lex Luger thing. I would pretty much look for him to be coming to the WWF too, because I think right now he's probably at the top of his value, and you know, they really are pushing new people coming in, and I think his contract should be up pretty soon from what I heard. But, you know, I think right now, being the world champion there at WCW and all, I think he's probably at the top of his marketability as far as pay, and I think he's just going to go where the big money is. You know, he's always shown that he's just out to please Lex Luger, and the only person he cares about is Lex Luger and Lex Luger's pocketbook. And I don't think WCW is going to be able to match the offer that the WWF will give him when his contract's up. What do you think?
I wouldn't think so either, but I don't think WCW doesn't want to, not that they couldn't afford it, but they don't want to shell out that kind of money, whereas they don't think it would be good, and it might not be good for them, but WWF could do it. I had talked about if Lex Luger loses the title to Sting or loses the title to anybody, that I think he would leave and go to WWF, because I think it's about that time. He's had opportunities in the past, and he said no, so, you know, I guess if you're saying no one too many times, you're not going to get your opportunity, and I don't think he wants to pass it up.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Like I said, I think he was holding out until he had won the WCW championship to show and say, hey, you know, I am a marketable wrestler, and I'm a complete wrestler now. I'm the world champion here in this organization, and, you know, I think he's, like I said, I think he's at the top of what he can get pay-wise from the WWF, and I don't think anyone can match what they will offer him. Dynamite D, I'll see you at Slammers Wrestling Gym, and I hope to see a lot of you people out there. I saw a couple people there today, new faces, and every day I like to see new faces, because if you're a wrestling fan, there's no other place to be, and that's the truth. You know it, plain and simple.
All right, well, thanks a lot. Good talking to you there, and take care.
Okay, have a good.
All right, it's CRN and the Cable Radio Network, Superstar Mason Storm, SWF member, and friend of the WrestleTalk show here. But anyway, we're going to take another call here and then go to a quick break. Welcome to WrestleTalk. Who's this?
Hey, Dynamite D, this is Sean.
Hey, how you doing?
Ain't it ironic how Mason Storm calls and we raining real hard? Isn't it ironic how Superstar Mason Storm calls and then it's raining real hard?
Well, I can't hear if it's raining.
It's raining outside. Hey, Dynamite D, I got a situation for you. What happens if you're beating the crap out of Joe Jason and you hold him and walk away and decks you and you lose the match? And he kept doing it more, and it happened more than once.
That happened more than once. I'd have to question the Walking Weapon about his eyesight and whether or not he needs glasses. You know,
you get to a point where you deck him if he keeps up?
I would do it, but I don't think there would be a need to right now. I think that our differences could be settled sitting down in a nice talking manner. If they couldn't be settled there, then they'd have to be settled in the ring, just like
I know you obviously a good Slammers wrestler. I know you're real cocky, kind of got an arrogance about you, but I don't think you should sell Joe Jason short, because he might just sneak up and pin you for a small package 1, 2, 3, and then then you might have to really let down your ego and really show what you could do.
Yeah, well, Joel and Jason, like I said, I've told him before, he may have seen the movie, but I wrote the book, and anything he can do, I can do better.
I'm not saying you're good, Dynamite D, but I compare Joel, Jason, you like to Mr. Perfect and Bret Hart. Mr. Perfect thought that Bret Hart didn't have a chance, but you see what happened to someone like Dynamite D.
Yeah.
So I just saying, don't be overconfident. Just do the job, and like I tell you, if you got the guy down, finish him off. Because if you don't, he can sneak up and bite you and pin you, buddy.
Yeah, exactly.
Dynamite D, got a quiz for you. Name 5 wrestlers to go off the top rope for a finishing move.
5 wrestlers that go off the top rope for a finishing move.
Yeah.
Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
1.
Are there more than 5?
I only can think of 5, really.
You only think of 5? Because I think I can think of more that go off
I got 3 from WCW and 2 in WWE.
I would say Hawk from Legion of Doom or Legion of Doom. If
I didn't have him in mind.
You didn't have that? I would say Z-Man.
Yeah.
So top rope, Flying Brian.
Yep, you got 3 of them.
So those would be the 3
Savage
from the WCW. Huh?
Savage and Snuka.
And Snuka and Savage. Huh.
Dynamite D, that guy who's listed the 5 top power wrestlers, well, I thought about it. Here goes my top 5. See if you agree with me on this. Number 5 is Rick Steiner. Number 4 is Sid Justice. Number 3, Lex Luger. Number 2 is Hulk Hogan. Number 1, Ultimate Warrior.
I would have to say it couldn't differ too much from that.
Because I think the reason I get Ultimate Warrior because he pressed Hogan over his head, and I don't know if any of those other wrestlers could do it. Sid probably could do it, though.
I don't know. I don't think Sid is as strong as he appears.
I never have really seen him pick over nobody over his head, have you?
No.
And Hogan, he's the same way.
Yeah.
I think Luger, he's pretty strong. He's picked up guys over his head. And I think Steiner, like I said, 2 of those guys are really strong, pick up guys over their head. But I tend to rate Hogan second because anybody who can slam Andre the Giant's pretty impressive. Don't you agree?
Exactly.
Dynamite D, Luger, and I brought this point up before. What would you rather see him come in as? A single bad guy, a baby face, come in with the Undertaker and form maybe an Undertaker tag team, or come in with Ric Flair and kind of form the WWF version of Horseman?
I think the last one coming in with Flair would be good for starters. It would kind of groom him to a type of a role he had earlier last year in WCW, but it wouldn't diminish his wrestling ability as far as being very powerful, being the total package, and wanting to go on for titles. I think that if he came in though as a Horseman type of a deal, it wouldn't be a long-term commitment that he would make. Because he would be in the same boat he was in WCW, always second best until now, and I think that would be the best way to bring him in, but it would be tough to keep him there.
I would like to see a guy like maybe the Genius or a Paul Bearer manager. How would you feel about that?
I don't know if you'd want a manager like the Genius or somebody like that who hasn't had the best track record, although he did manage Perfect for a while.
I just figured the ego deal, Luger's an egomaniac and Genius is an egomaniac. I figure they would go together in that sense.
Yeah, well, it would be pretty interesting, but I think
his track record, I agree, is not that successful. Anything happened on WCW main event today? I
didn't get a chance to see it because I was at Slammers with their main event wrestling in the SWF.
Dynamite D, this is kind of off the beating track a little bit. I watch some of those old Japanese horror films with Godzilla and stuff, and I noticed Godzilla does a lot of suplexes. Have you noticed that, Dynamite D?
No, I haven't seen that.
No, I'm serious. I mean, a lot of these, and a lot of those horror movies, like those big Japanese monster movies, a lot of the guys do a lot of suplexes, Dynamite D and stuff. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, and what's that? Gamera does a flying splash off the top rope.
Yeah, and I guess what's the name? I guess I can see Rick Stein get the Frankenstein. I guess he got it from maybe Gamera or somebody because he does he flips over with his shell and
yeah.
I just saying wrestling influences even horror movies, Dynamite D.
Exactly.
Dynamite D. What's your prediction about Ricky Steamboat? I heard rumors that he's going after the U.S. title. Do you think he will take it? Or could you see a strong wrestler like Rude taking it? I mean, somebody similar to Rude in strength and stuff. Or do you see a scientific guy that would give Rude problems taking it?
I could see Steamboat going after it and taking it.
Dynamite D, okay. How about this scenario? Okay. Steen beats Luger for the title. And then Paulie Dangerous said, Luger leaves and Paulie Dangerous declares war on Steen. But he figures Rude and stuff got other things on their mind, and he figures he needs a special person to take on Sting in. Lo and behold, the final piece of the puzzle comes in the form of the Dark Ultimate Warrior.
That would be interesting, and I think Paulie could be somebody that would pull something like that off.
You got Lethal Weapon, you got the Lethal Warrior, Dynamite D. How you like that name?
That sounds pretty good.
See, WWF would let them use Warrior at all?
Oh, they couldn't stop them from using Warrior.
They can't use Ultimate.
Yeah, they can't use Ultimate Warrior together. They can use Ultimate Maniac, and they can use Lethal Warrior, but they can't use the Ultimate Warrior because that name as a whole is, I guess, registered copyright or trademark, whatever it is for WWE.
In your opinion, name 5 tag teams that aren't currently right now. But if you had your druthers, if you was a wrestling matchmaker, and you could form these matchups, any federation you could use, WCW, Global, WWF, who would you like to see team up?
You mean?
Let's say like you have Lex Luger and Undertaker, Sting, Ultimate Warrior. You know.
All right, yeah, I'd have to go with the Sting, Ultimate Warrior. I'd have to go with the Ric Flair, Mr. Perfect.
I think that'd be a great tag.
I'd have to go with a Bret Hart, Owen Hart tag team. I would have to go with probably. I don't know, it's tough to say. I'd probably have to go with an Undertaker, Sid Vicious or Sid Justice, but in a Vicious style type of a tag team. And maybe a Sting Hulk Hogan just to see the implications of something like that.
I don't know, Dharma. Do you see Hulk Hogan? Well, I guess popularity-wise, it'd be pretty unmatched, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Let's see. You brought up, don't you agree, Dynamite D, all the partners the Horsemen ever had, Ric Flair's been with, don't you agree that Mr. Perfect is the best partner he could ever have?
I would say probably.
Is there anybody you think comes close in terms of scientific ability that he had in the past?
Well, I mean, you look at like Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard. Those are classic wrestlers that have the technical ability. They don't have any extraordinary-looking physiques or anything. They're just regular old guys type that they get in there and do the job. So I think those are two that are good. But see, Perfect is got everything, and that's why he's perfect, and that's why he's better for Flair than anybody.
Dynamite D, and last point, your wish list, if you had your druthers and you're a TV programmer like Ted Turner or somebody, or Vince McMahon, your new ideas for pay-per-views, give me maybe 3 to 5 ideas for new pay-per-views you would develop.
3 ideas for pay-per-views. It's really tough to come up with just...
What about the Four Corners you was talking about?
Four Corners, man, that's an interesting style or something. It's been done, but I don't know if it would be enough to put in a pay-per-view. It might be something, you could combine something, say a Four Corners match, which involves 6 wrestlers with a lethal lottery type of a thing, and maybe the final wrestler in each of the, say maybe have 2 or 3 of the Four Corners matches, or maybe 4. You have to have 2 or 4, and have the final guys go into an elimination type of a round robin thing, maybe with lethal lottery type random picking. Something like that would be interesting. I think something dealing with... they have like different cage match styles and stuff. I could see where wrestlers go in a cage like a battle royal type of a cage, and first one to get out is a winner or something, and then and then they go on to a final battle royal or something.
How about this concept? I thought about something called the Midnight Run, and what it would be is like, let's say you have a Sting, and he goes in his house or his building, and all his enemies are in the building, and it's like a maze, but see, Sting has 5 minutes to get out of the building, and he has to fight off, let's say the Dangerous Alliance, it was him against the Dangerous Alliance, he had to fight off all the members of the Dangerous Alliance, and the last part, if he gets through all of it, then he wins, let's say, $100,000.
That would be very interesting. It would be very tough to do, though, and I think that would be like the only problem with it, but it's a very interesting concept. Hang on the line here, all right, Sean? Thanks for calling. It's CRN, the Cable Radio Network. We will be back with more WrestleTalk right after this.
If
you'd like to write to Dynamite D here at CRN, the Cable Radio Network's WrestleTalk show, here's the address. Send your letters to Dynamite D in care of CRN, the Cable Radio Network, Post Office Box 433, Sunland, California, 91041. That's Dynamite D, CRN, the Cable Radio Network, Post Office Box 433, Sunland, SUNLAND, California, 91041. Dynamite D's WrestleTalk show will continue on CRN, the Cable Radio Network.
818-352-7152. Welcome to WrestleTalk. Who's this?
Arnie.
What's on your mind tonight?
Is the big bully Busick still in WWF?
No, he's not. He dropped out before Survivor Series.
Or he's at?
I don't know. He'd probably be going back to Global. I saw him there, but I guess I thought that was like an old tape of him, but I would expect him to probably go back to Global.
Don't you think the WWF should try and sign the Ultimate Warrior and Will Breaker?
Do I think they should do that?
Yeah.
No, I don't think they want to deal with him. I don't think they want to see him. I think he's somebody that they don't want around anymore, but I could be wrong.
Because, I don't know, he's like very popular and they have all the merchandise of him and stuff.
Yeah, they're getting rid of it slowly but surely.
And Sid Justice, who do you think will be his next opponent?
And then you got to go with somebody. I think it would be somebody big, maybe somebody like. I was trying to think maybe somebody like the Warlord or something, but he could be getting into tag team competition soon. But Sid, it's tough to see who would be a good match for him. Not many people could match him in strength. But it'd be interesting to see if he did get mixed in with a Warlord or Barbarian or somebody like that.
You go see the world title around him in 1992?
What was that?
You think we'll see the title around him in 92?
Maybe near the end of 92, but if we see it, it'll be a big shock to a lot of people, I think. I don't know if he's ready to hold the title yet.
And do you see Hulk Hogan as this is last year?
I would say yes. I would say the longest I could see him going on would be to WrestleMania 9, and that would be like the final for Hulk Hogan. But I think it could be, maybe a Survivor Series or something like that of this year. 92 could be, and I think will be his last successful year.
I feel like a lot of people are getting tired of him already. They want to see other new things going on.
Yeah. Well, almost 10 years hanging around as, being at the top. You can't really do too much when you're somebody like Hulk Hogan. Somebody like Ric Flair can go through some changes and stuff a little bit different for the length of time, but Hogan is not.
He's still the most popular in WWF?
He's still the most popular around anywhere, but, it's not going to be like that forever, and I think I'd rather see him, and he'd rather see himself leave at the top of popularity and everything.
And Luger, do you see him as, if he does come to WWF as a rule breaker?
Yeah.
Like, beside himself, like Ric Flair?
Yeah, I think that would be what he would do early on, and then if he sees any problems with that, then he would change, and I think he would be a good thing for WWF to use, whether he's going as a rule breaker or a fan favorite or whatever.
I'd like to see him and Sid Justice go at it.
Yeah, that would be interesting. I'd like to see them. They had some chances, but not much happening between them and WCW.
Natural Disasters taking the title from Legion of Doom?
I think they will. I think Legion of Doom is doing good, but I don't think they're... I think they're expecting to get through with another victory, and Jimmy Hart's got something up his sleeve.
Do you see any other new tag teams coming to WWF?
Not right now. There was talk they were trying to get Ron and Don Harrison, but they didn't like them from Pacific Northwest, and they didn't really say too much about any new trials for tag teams. But you got to get somebody coming in with the Rockers going out, and other teams like Bushwhackers are really not doing that well.
Yeah, their tag team is getting boring now.
Yeah.
And do you see Bret Hart losing the title soon?
No, I think he'll hold it for a while, probably till SummerSlam, if not longer.
All right, thanks a lot.
All right, thanks for calling the CRN Cable Radio Network. WrestleTalk. This is Dynamite D. 818-352-7152. That's 818-352-7152. Welcome to WrestleTalk. Who's this?
Thomas.
What's your cable system?
Nation.
And what's on your mind?
I'd like to know, do you know about the matches of the Clash of Champions?
Yeah. Do you know them, or?
No, I want to find out.
Oh, boy, I tried to write some of them down here. I was just listening and I figured I'd write them down. Sting and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat against Rick Rude and Stunning Steve Austin. The Steiners against Mr. Hughes and Big Van Vader. Van Hammer against Cactus Jack. PN News against Diamond Dallas Page. Johnny B. Bad against Ricky Morton. And there's going to be like a couple other six-man tag teams in there, but I didn't get a chance to get them all down. But
What's the main event?
Huh?
What's the main event?
The main event, I think it's the Sting and Steamboat against Rude and Austin.
Oh, okay. Hey, you think Alexander York left WCW already, or is she going to leave it?
I don't know. I think she'll hang around with the organization, whether or not she's out and doing stuff in front or not.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks for calling the CRN Cable Radio Network. Dynamite D with WrestleTalk. 25 minutes or so left. Welcome to WrestleTalk. Who's this? Hello? Thank you for calling the CRN Cable Radio Network. Nobody there, but someone's here. Welcome to WrestleTalk. Who's this?
Hi, this is Tyrone Robinson from Channel 98.
How you doing?
Hi. Okay. I heard J.T. White Tom talking some mess about me on the show, and I'd never like to make the chance to call this man a brother again, because he's an Oriole.
Well, thanks a lot for your opinion. It's the CRN Cable Radio Network. Please keep your personal opinions about other people to yourself, because they are your personal opinions, and I don't think they should be shared here on the air. It's Dynamite D with WrestleTalk. You see, this is a show to talk about wrestling, not a show to call and talk about other people calling the show. Not to make judgment or anything like that. So I would appreciate it if you don't bring that stuff on my show, and if you do, well, then you're not going to be able to call on the WrestleTalk show, you see. It's a button I have here that's called the on-off switch. Turns the phone on, turns the phone off. Flip of the finger can put the phone on, and another touch can take the phone right off, and if you don't call, I'm sure someone else will. So please do your best to stick to wrestling, and we'll have some fun. If not, then someone else will have to call in your place. Welcome to WrestleTalk. Who's this?
Joe from La Habra.
All right, and what's your cable system out there?
Century.
What's on your mind tonight?
Okay, I was wondering, what do you think is going to happen with the Rockers? I figure Shawn Michaels will go bad.
Yeah.
What do you think with Mark Jannetty?
Jannetty, I would hope that he would try to form a tag team with he and Shane Douglas in it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because didn't they, when Michaels was injured, didn't they fight for a while together?
Yeah, they fought as just the Rockers, and there really wasn't much of a problem. I don't think Shawn Michaels would have a problem with them using the name Rockers or anything like that, but I think that he might still be called Rocker Shawn Michaels, or, might still portray that type of an attitude.
Yeah, and who is Skinner and IRS?
What about it?
Who are they?
Skinner is Steve Kern. IRS is Mike Rotundo.
Oh, yeah, okay. All right, that's about it.
All right, thanks for calling. It's CRN, the Cable Radio Network, WrestleTalk. This is Dynamite D, 818-352-7152. That's 818-352-7152. Welcome to WrestleTalk. Who's this?
This is Todd.
Which cable system?
Evolution.
And what's on your mind?
Dynamite D, I just want to say you and Ben rule the SWF. You guys are so cool, man, I swear. I saw your card today. Everything is just running wild in the SWF. I hope you two kick the booty off of Jason and Malicious Mike.
Well, thank you, and I'm glad you enjoyed the show. Is there anybody else that you saw at the card that brought your attention to him or anything? Or?
Yeah, Stunning Steve Austin.
What was that?
Oh, Recent Storm, Superstar. I was hoping he was going to kick Jeff Lindbergh's butt, because I hate Jeff. He just, a show off, he thinks he's all great, and he just gets everything goes to his head.
Yeah, well, it is going to his head, and I think somebody's got to go ahead and give him a couple closed fists like he likes to dish out too.
Yeah, exactly. I hope you're the one to give it to him.
I just may be real soon.
All right, thanks a lot.
Thanks for calling. Bye. It's CRN, the Cable Radio Network, WrestleTalk, Dynamite D. There's a listener to WrestleTalk who also happens to enjoy Slammers Wrestling Federation action, and he was one of the lucky ones to be down there, and you could be one of the lucky ones to be down there too. What you got to do is get down to Slammers sometime between now and February 2nd, which is the next card, and maybe you can try it out and get in the ring and wrestle and see what you think. And if it's not what you want to do, you can come in there and be a weekend warrior. That's a guy who just comes by and wrestles whenever they want. And you could get invited to the SWF card. And if you know a wrestler in the SWF, you could also be invited. See, wrestling in the SWF is a special privilege for a lot of these athletes who have been training in Slammers, and a lot of them really would like people to come and check them out when they're going through their training. But it's not something that we do at Slammers because we keep the training one-on-one, strictly the teacher and the student. And this is a really good way for these wrestlers to kind of show off to all the people that they've been talking about to what they've been doing. They've been getting in there wrestling. So we have the SWF the first Sunday of every month. Slammers Wrestling Gym holds a special private wrestling club, which is the SWF, the Slammers Wrestling Federation organization. And the guests are invited by the wrestler being part of the Slammers Wrestling Federation club. They get to invite some guests to kind of be there like sponsors and check them out and give them the support. And you would love it if you had a chance to go down there, so I suggest you do take the means to do so. It's WrestleTalk, it's Dynamite D. We got to go to another break. When we come back from this break, we will talk to you more about what is going on in wrestling and take some more calls. We'll be back. 7152. We'll get you here on the WrestleTalk Show for the next few minutes. This is CRN, the radio channel. If you're not picking us up as usual and you're hearing us on hold either on your cable system, well, that'd be interesting, or you're on hold waiting to get on the show or something, please write a letter to your cable system. Tell them to keep CRN on. Now, for instance, you're listening to us right now, so you're saying, I don't have to do that. I'm listening to you. I'm not having a problem. Well, you could have been listening to us yesterday, and you're not listening to us today. Of course, you wouldn't hear us, so we'll say next Saturday you could not hear us for some reason because something else is going on. You want to make sure your cable system knows that you appreciate having CRN here and the shows that they have with it. So give them a letter, and that'll be good. And keep us here and keep you in tune to Cable Radio Network all the time. And let's go on to more calls. Welcome to WrestleTalk. Who's this?
Yeah, hi, Dynamite. This is John calling from Campbell. I'm on Heritage Cablevision. I have a dream match type of question for you. I was wondering if you could give me an idea who you think would win in a match between El Gigante and The Undertaker.
Well, El Gigante hasn't showed me much that impresses me as far as wrestling ability, whereas The Undertaker has. Although The Undertaker doesn't use it as much lately, I think that he's got much more wrestling ability and would surprise El Gigante. Although El Gigante, bigger of the two, size isn't always going to mean you're going to be victorious. And I would go with The Undertaker in that match.
Yeah, it seems El Gigante does just rely on his size, like a big obstacle.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's about all I had, Dynamite. Take it easy now.
All right. CRN, the Cable Radio Network. WrestleTalk, Dynamite D, 818-352-7152. That's 818-352-7152. We are here on the radio channel. Welcome to WrestleTalk. Who's this?
Hi, this is David from Paragon Cable.
All right. What's on your mind tonight?
I was wondering, can you tell me what happened on Battle Bowl, like any odd tag teams or and who won and everything?
Well, unfortunately I can't. I got some results, but I really didn't have a chance to write them all down and get through them. But I will tell you that Sting was tag team partner with Abdullah the Butcher. The Freebirds were on opposite tag teams and they faced off. Trying to think of some other weird combinations and stuff, but those were some of the more interesting happenings. That doesn't matter. I can remember, right off the bat of what interesting. So many different things could have happened, but hopefully I'll get some final results or something and write them down and bring them into the show, or someone else might be able to enlighten you more on that either next show or later on.
Okay, can I ask you one more question?
Yeah.
I remember a few years ago I was watching this channel. It was like Prime Ticket when they used to have it on Channel 49.
Yeah.
And I was watching this match. It was between Exotic AJ Street, the dude that dresses like a girl and everything.
Yeah.
And Randy Savage, and all I saw was it was like there was like a bar, like people were drinking at a bar and they were having wrestling, and I saw Randy Savage getting beat bloody by Exotic AJ Street. Have you ever seen that?
No, I haven't. I really wouldn't recall where exactly that was or what was up with that, but they've had some wrestling matches in some strange places, and
yeah, it was like weird music. They had like real scary music on it. It was like, I don't know what it was, but it was real weird. I was just wondering if you ever saw it.
Well, no, I haven't, and maybe somebody out there will let us know what exactly was going on there, where that was, or what's up with that. Any other questions?
Yeah, I got one more. You know the Z-Man?
Yeah.
Is he still in WCW? Because I haven't seen him for a long time.
Yes, he is. He was around a couple weeks ago, so, a couple weeks doesn't mean he's gone for sure, but as far as I know, he's still around WCW.
Okay, and that's all I have, but I'd like to say hi to my brother John.
All right, thanks a lot for calling.
All right, bye.
All right, it's CRN, the Cable Radio Network. About 12 minutes left here in the show, so we got time to take some more calls. Let's go on and say welcome to WrestleTalk. Who's this?
Dynamite D, this is Jeff Lindbergh.
Uh-oh.
Ah.
How you doing?
Well, I'm doing all right.
Okay, what's your cable system?
It's Cablevision Channel 66, West Valley Cablevision.
And what's on your mind?
Well, I've been listening to you and Superstar Mason Storm run your mouth, trying to slander my reputation, and I'm telling you, man, I don't appreciate it. If it's a personal problem, we can go at Slammer's Ring, next card, any card. Match me and you, Dynamite D, anytime.
Well,
I took out Superstar Mason Storm, and now I'm looking for you.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm not going to cut you off, and as far as personal information goes, when somebody that I know, and somebody I was talking earlier to other callers and stuff, but when somebody like wrestling the SWF, you got to get out here on the air and let the people know what's up, because I've had some matches with you, Jeff, and we both push each other to that limit, and I think that now, if you want to step in the ring next time, I'd be more than happy if get the president to sanction a match between us, have it mean something more than just like a grudge match or something like that. I think it's got to, maybe be some deciding factor in there to get us both back in the ring together, but I'll take you on any time.
Sounds interesting, man. I'm looking forward to it.
All right. Any other comments about anybody in the SWF or any comments about wrestling?
Well, I would just like to tell all the people that haven't gone down to a Slammer's card yet that they don't know what they're missing. The Slammer's cards are top-rate cards, and they need to go down and watch the best wrestling there is.
Well, obviously, according to what Mason Storm was saying earlier, that they go down and watch the best wrestling, they got to be watching Jeff Lindbergh, and obviously you'd agree with that because
that's right.
You are egotistical. No, actually, thanks a lot for calling, and I'm sure that our ring differences can be settled there, and at least we agree on one thing: SWF's the best.
We agree on that for sure.
All right, and I will thank you for calling, because if I don't, maybe next time we get in the ring, if something happens, maybe you'll take me out and you'll have to come do the show.
All right, thanks, D.
All right, it's CRN, the Cable Radio Network, WrestleTalk. Dynamite D here with you. We have some things going, it's not all I'm going after you with a grudge or anything like that. It's wrestling, and you got to love wrestling to get into it, and if you don't love it, then I don't know what you're thinking about. If you're trying to get into wrestling, you got to love it, and somebody like Jeff Lindbergh, who I mentioned, is a fine athlete and a great wrestler, got some real good skills. He takes a lot of risks, and I think that would be the downfall if I ever faced him again. I just capitalize on some risks, like I pinned him earlier today, as if he forgot. I didn't want to bring it up on the air and make him feel bad, but I'll bring it up now. Let's go on to more calls right now. Welcome to WrestleTalk. Who's this?
This is Mark.
What's your cable system?
Dimension.
What's on your mind?
Oh, yeah. Could you tell me what Rocks and Ox is from the Demolition?
Or Axe from Demolition?
Yeah.
He is, I don't know if he's still wrestling there. I haven't seen him. I haven't been watching Global that much, though. He was wrestling Global as Axis the Demolisher, or working for Global as well.
Hey, could you tell me what's going to be the main event, Clash of Champions?
Main event Clash Champions. I don't know if it's the main event, but it sure looks like it has the sound of a main event. Sting and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat against Ravishing Rick Rude and Stunning Steve Austin.
Did you hear about the Oliver retirement?
The what?
When Crash injured some guy and took him out of wrestling.
Oh, Rip Oliver or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I didn't hear much about that. I heard briefly, but I don't follow the situation enough to know much.
Thanks, man.
Thanks for calling. It's CRN, the Cable Radio Network, WrestleTalk. This is Dynamite D, 818-352-7152. Welcome to WrestleTalk. Who's this?
It's Robert McNair.
What's on your mind?
I want to know whatever happened to Honky Tonk Man.
Oh, no, that's a good question. He was wrestling in some smaller promotions like Tri-State Wrestling Alliance and doing independent stuff. I think he went to UWF for a while, but didn't like that. And going to be interesting to see if he pops up anywhere. But he did some wrestling in Memphis and probably looking for some action right now. We could hear his name pop up at any time.
Also, do you happen to know who the Patriot is?
Patriot, it's, as far as I know, the Trooper used to be in AWA. That's about all I know. I don't know if he's wrestled as any other name other than that.
Okay. That's about it.
All right. Well, thanks a lot for calling. It's CRN, the Cable Radio Network. Time for a couple more calls here. So we will be here with you again next Saturday following the basketball game again. Now, I know you guys say, another basketball game. Be patient. Enjoy the game. And just kind of think of it as the build-up to the show. And as the basketball game draws to an end, you can be excited because WrestleTalk will be on soon. Let's go on right now and say, welcome to WrestleTalk. Who's this? All right, thanks a lot for calling. It's here on the Cable Radio Network, and give him a chance to talk if he wants to. You want to talk? No? Don't want to talk. He wants to play a Sting theme. Someone else got a Sting theme. We'll listen to it for a second. Dun, dun, dun. That's what it sounds like when I turn the phone off in the middle of music. If it was a music man, he would have said hello, so I don't feel too bad. It's WrestleTalk, Dynamite D. If you want to talk, and if you want to play music, I might let you do it, but I don't know, Music Man might not take a liking to that and might disqualify you from any contest we ever have. Welcome to WrestleTalk. Who's this?
Hello. This is Jacques de la Boette, the Destroyer.
All right, what's your cable system?
Right now in Los Angeles, 98. I have a question, a dream match question.
Yeah.
Who would you like between, let's say, Thunder Rager and, let's say, Kurt Hennig?
That's a tough one. I haven't seen enough of Jushin Liger, whatever you want to call him, in competition against guys with the American style. But it would be tough. I think that Kurt Hennig, as good as he is, would be surprised by a lot of the moves. I don't know if it would be enough to pin him, though. I think.
Yes. Merci. I also have, pardon me, merci. I also have another question. When you wrestle with the right robe, do you always have the KKK on the robe that you wear until the event?
I don't wrestle as that or any such thing close to that, so
okay. Thank you very much.
All right, it's CRN, the Cable Radio Network, WrestleTalk, Dynamite D. It's close to the end of the show, and we're going to some more calls. Welcome to WrestleTalk. Who's this?
This is Jim calling from Media General.
All right, thanks for hanging on. And good. Go ahead. What's your comments or questions?
Yeah, I was just wondering. I was interested to hear the guy mention El Gigante earlier, hear your opinion of him. I don't know. I think you've had Jim Cornette on the show before. He's really badmouthed WCW a lot, and I know some of that might be personal. But when I see them throwing all that money at El Gigante to recruit him from Argentina, they can't come up with the money to pay somebody like Ric Flair. I think that says it all about their organization.
Yeah, I think the problem is they expected him to be the next Andre the Giant type of a figure, and he just hasn't been. And, they go and expect something like that, but they should go with something that's more of a for sure bet, like a Ric Flair or something.
Yeah, I mean, how much longer do you think they can hang on with the guy? I mean, they haven't been able to teach him to wrestle. They haven't been able to teach him English. He can't give a good interview, and he's got no personality.
I really don't know. We haven't seen too much of it. I think they're trying to get something through to him. You really, it's interesting and it's kind of amazing to see a guy that size do a suplex on somebody, but it really doesn't look like he's comfortable in that ring. And it could go back to, a problem where he might be getting himself injured because of the impact. It's great impact for himself as well as his opponent.
I think he's got the same problem that Andre the Giant always had. He's a big guy, he has no upper body strength, and he can't do a lot of basic wrestling moves.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thanks very much.
Thanks a lot for calling. It's CRN, the Cable Radio Network, or WrestleTalk with Dynamite D. I think we have time for another call. Welcome to the show. Who's this?
That's Dave from Paragon Cable.
All right, what's on your mind?
Well, last time I was last call, and I'll be the last call tonight. Another Bob Backlund question. Way back in 1985, when he was still, I think it was 85 when he was champion.
He was champion in 83 or
okay, very good.
82.
Okay, so he wrestled the Iron Sheik. He was injured before the match. Arnold Skaaland threw in the towel during the championship match, which, as far as I know, is not. Bob Backlund lost the title because Arnold Skaaland threw in the towel. which, as far as I know, is not a way you can lose a belt.
That, in fact, is submission. And that was the reason Backlund would not have submitted, and Arnold Skaaland, being his manager, kind of, threw the towel. It's done in boxing, and I've only seen it done in wrestling once or twice. Actually, I've seen it in the Bob Backlund incident, and recently in WCW, a towel was thrown in one of those matches that they have on, I don't know if it's Worldwide Wrestling or whatever, but they have the I Quit matches on TV or whatever.
Okay, I'll grant you that. Okay, now, so Bob Backlund lost the title, and then Hulk Hogan won the title. Less than a month later, Hulk Hogan had the title, which is very strange for a wrestler to get a championship match when he's only been in the Federation for less than 2 months.
Well, the situation, I guess, with that was Backlund unable to get back in the ring. Hogan was a friend of Bob Backlund's, and Hogan was the one who got the call to make the charge at the Iron Sheik for that.
That's rather odd, don't you think? Shouldn't the number one contender? Would it be the Intercontinental Champion? Or, I don't know, I think Jimmy Snuka was ranked in the top 5 back then. Why didn't one of them get the shot?
I don't know the whole theory behind why Hogan got the shot and someone else didn't. I guess that Bob Backlund, I don't know if he was able to pick or if Hogan said, I'll just go in for you, and nobody questioned it at the time. It is kind of surprising, but I think that was the whole thing. Hogan said he would do it. Nobody questioned it at the time, and so it was done.
I think that's the basic problem with the WWF. It's been politics all along. It's been this BS politics since day one. Whereas in the NWA, you have very, or at least up until recently, you have very stern guidelines as to what you can. I mean, the pile driver was illegal for years and years and years. Whereas in WWF, all it is kind of let that slide. I mean, people get away with absolute murder in the WWF, and I think, in a sense, that that accounts for its popularity, but it also accounts for a lot of its loss of credibility in the wrestling world.
I see your point. We're going to have to make it real brief here because we are out of time. But I think the whole situation is you're the owner of an organization or you're the founders or the runners of the organization. You're going to do it your way, not anybody else's way. And if your way works, you're going to do it, and that's what WWF has done. And they're not going to copy you. They're not going to try to let anybody else dictate how they run their business. And I wouldn't be the first one to tell them to run it any differently. And I'm sure many people out there feel the same way. But it all depends on what the wrestling fans out there likes, and they're just trying to get the fans, and that's what they end up doing.
Thanks, Steve.
Thanks for calling. It's CRN, the Cable Radio Network. Music going in the background means I got to get out of here. It is time to head on out and say goodnight, but I'll be back next week. Quick update. You want to write your Wrestle Talk? Do so at P.O. Box 433, Sunland, Sunland, California 91041. That's Dynamite D's Wrestle Talk. P.O. Box 433, Sunland, Sunland, California 91041. We still have some Starrcade stuff to give away. We have had some winners for that already. We're going to be drawing the winners later on for the final ones. And if you are one of the winners, you will be sent the Starrcade shirt in the mail. So congratulations to those winners, and keep the phone lines right here at the WrestleTalk Show. I'm Dynamite D. Thank you so much for joining me until Saturday night for the basketball game. Good night, everybody.